And more remains of whoever and whatever was here a long time ago. Okay, so this area was taken over by the Germans in World War II. That is who built the cannons, I'm pretty sure. And so leftover ruins. Whoa! Holy crap! This is a dank, dark hole here. It is good to be back in the Mediterranean Sea, back in Greece a month later after my previous adventures over on the Ionian side of Greece. This is the Halkidiki Peninsula. So the deal is, yesterday I flew in from Germany to the Thessaloniki airport, and the ultimate plan was to rent a car and go on a quest for the birthplace of Alexander the Great. So that is going to be the adventure for the coming days. Maybe I will arrive there later today. We shall see, otherwise tomorrow, but more about that later. So after swimming around here for a little bit, I'm going to get back in the car and keep on driving around the Halkidiki Peninsula. There are actually 3 fingers. I'm going to do a circuit around this one that I'm on. The third one is Athos over there, Mount Athos, and that is off limits to tourists for the most part because it is a region of monasteries, Greek Orthodox monasteries. I think there aren't roads, there's just hiking trails, something like that. Only men are allowed because it is all priests or monks. So anyways, just going to chillax here for a little bit and then hop in the car, show you more of Halkidiki, Greece. Halkidiki is a peninsula and regional unit of Greece, part of the region of Central Macedonia in the geographic region of Macedonia in northern Greece. Macedonia. Alexander the Great, King of Macedon. Again, more about that later. The autonomous Mount Athos region constitutes the easternmost part of the peninsula. Mount Athos. Driving along here, and boom, a big mountain. Obviously, that is Mount Athos, obscured by the haze a bit, but that is the end of one of the 3 peninsulas, the fingers or legs that extend out from the Halkidiki Peninsula. This one is Sithonia, I'm driving out that way. And the third one is Cassandra. Here we have one of the many various Greek Orthodox churches, and in this case, tiny shrines, probably to some saint or Mary or somebody. All right, I got a lot of ground to cover. We're going to keep on going that way. Nice beach area along there, and then wrap around the peninsula. Vikos water. Vikos is the Grand Canyon of Greece. Another little shrine here. Another one over there. Some nice little beaches. This is the town of Sarti, stretching this way. Are you living your dream? That is a good question. There is Sarti Beach, a very nice but very crowded spot. Going to keep on driving, getting closer to the end of the peninsula. According to mythology, Torone was wife to Proteus, son of Poseidon. The ancient city was founded by Halkidian settlers probably during the 8th century BC. Its strategic location and rich resources developed Torone into one of the most significant cities in Halkidiki, giving its name to the gulf that forms between Pallene and Sithonia peninsulas. During the Greco-Persian Wars, it allied with the Persians, who as a reward gave Olynthos to Kritobolos, a local ruler in 479, and later became part of the Athenian League, contributing one of the highest taxes that reached 12 Attic talents per year, giving an indication of its prosperity. When the Peloponnesian War broke out, the Athenians, fearing a revolt against them, placed a garrison in the city, but that did not stop Brasidas, the Spartan general, from seizing the city with a surprise attack during the night before he came to an understanding with the Tauronians in 423. This is the lovely bay and town of Torone. And here are the ancient ruins of the town of the same name, first established almost 3,000 years ago. It is one thing to come across these kinds of ancient sites, see an old rock wall, piles of rubble, and wonder how old was this? What happened here? What was the civilization that existed that built this? It is another thing when you know, such as I read there, the story behind it, just a little taste of it, but that fills in a lot of the gaps, placing it at a specific date, roughly 8th century BC. And the fact that this was a thriving and wealthy city engaged in trade and wars with its neighbors, including the Persians. Now, I'm going to guess, pretty darn certain, that this building is not 2,800 years old. That was when this area was first established. I'm sure that this is much more recent. Looking at it, it is more modern looking concrete, maybe a couple hundred years old, or I don't know. But along this peninsula, and I guess maybe out there throughout the greater area here, was a very important city. And I wonder what the landscapes were like back then. Was it the same? Was it more green, more rainfall 3,000 years ago? Or did this bay exist pretty much like this? Or has it been changed over the millennia somehow? Very likely that these seas could have been a different level. This is known that there have been major changes in the level of the seas and oceans around the world throughout human history in relatively recent human past. Within the past few thousand years, then there were cities that were once on dry land and are now buried under the sea for various reasons. One was discovered fairly recently off the coast of Egypt, I believe near Alexandria, which sunk as a result of an earthquake. And so in that case, then I guess it wasn't a matter of changing sea levels, but an earthquake that just destroyed the land on which the city was resting. Anyways, very fascinating to consider the incredible past of human civilization. So one thing that I thought that I would mention is, how did I find out about this place? How do I find many of these ancient sites and various other places that I end up visiting and documenting? So I first learned about this ancient site about 4 or 5 minutes ago. Seriously, or 7 or 8 minutes ago. So I was driving along the road, which is back behind the beach there. I didn't even see this beach because the road goes kind of up in those hills a little bit, and then it continued over there, and then I was coming down into a little valley, and there was a turn, and there was a sign, and it said Ancient Toroni. And you had me at ancient. I had to check it out. And so I drove back. It ended up driving through the town, a very busy scene there back behind the beach of the modern Toroni. And then got over here and just looked up information online there. So that is how I find a lot of the places that I find, is very randomly. I see a sign for it, or I just look on Google Maps and zero in on the area where I am, and then see something that looks interesting and go check it out. Or, for example, on the flight here from Dusseldorf, Germany into Thessaloniki, there was the Airplane magazine, a very good one, tons of information about Greece and various sites and also history. And there was a article about the island that I'm planning to go to next after this road trip, describing it, that sounded just absolutely amazing. You'll find out where that is fairly soon. But there was a article about the history of the Greek Revolution. 200 years ago exactly, 1821, the Greeks began an uprising against the Ottoman Turks who were occupying Greece. They had totally taken over. A group of rebels formed and began the push for independence, for their freedom, which resulted in 9 years of war. And then finally in 1829, complicated story, agreements with the English and the Russians and French. Then they managed to basically secure their freedom, and in 1830 then the modern Greek country was formed. And so sometimes people will post comments under my videos like against Greek, saying you have a fairly new country, it was just formed in 1830. Of course that is just the current, not even the current borders, because things have shifted around, but the modern day Greek country gained its independence, formed its own government, and was finally free from the rule by the Turkish. And so that was the beginning of the modern Greek country. However, of course, the Greek civilization, roughly 3,000 years old in various forms. Hiking route to the cannons. The starting point of the route, approximately 2.5 kilometers in length, is located at the boundary of the northern wall of ancient Toroni, within which the 5th century BC part of the city stretches southward. To the right of the path lies the ancient castle of the Kythos. I'm not sure if that is the Kythos or if that is something else that I will be seeing in the course of this hike, which was thus named in antiquity due to its similarity to a container of aromatic oil. The route continues into a fascinating landscape of olive trees, sclerophyllose vegetation, and aromatic plants, with successive coves surrounding the imposing mountain of the ancient Acropolis. So I just had to do it, even though it is the exact wrong time of the day. It is 3:30 in the afternoon, scorching hot, to the cannons. So I guess they are German World War II cannons. And so this hike just sounded too cool to pass up. A couple of kilometers. And there should be some swimming along the way, or else when I get back. Let's find out. Luckily, there are signs. Oh, two different things. Acropolis up there, cannons this way. Now, the question is, because Acropolis means hill, or maybe it means city on a hill. In Athens, there's the Acropolis. But the building, the famous building on top of the Acropolis, is the Parthenon. And so the Acropolis does not refer to the ancient building of Athens. So my point is, I'm not sure if that's just going to be a hike up a hill, or if there would be more ancient ruins up there. But that is obviously the hill, and that looks a lot more intense than this. So I'll do this first, and my feeling is I will probably skip the hill. And so this detour is going to change my plans for the day, because I was planning, or at least hoping, to maybe get to the Alexander site sort of late afternoon, early evening, when it's cooling down. I'm not sure when it closes yet, and this is going to delay things, because the drive there, it is back inland, is I think more than 2 hours of driving. It's now 3:30, so I might have to change the plans and plan to go there tomorrow. We'll see. So I guess that is the Acropolis up on top of the hill. Definitely not going for that. I see something. You probably can't see it in the video, but there's like a white pillar sticking up from that mound right about there. I wonder if that could be part of the ancient ruins or just coincidence, some sort of a white rock. But I am getting seriously overheated. Hoping that this leads to a place to jump in the water soon. And we got something. Unfortunately, it is also at the top of a hill. Looks like this trail is going down, hoping that there will be a swimming spot down there, and then I'll see. I'm not too excited about uphill hikes right now. The main trail is going up this way. There is a sign. It looks like it says Cannons. However, there is some nice looking water down there, and there is a faint animal track or something going right in that direction. So let's see if this turns into another Greek islands disaster, lost in the brutal Greek wilderness, or if it leads straight to ultimate beach paradise. Only one way to find out. Huh. This is not looking good. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Oh man, once again, so close, but does that go straight there? Or I'm just gonna see here if these shrubs, oh, it is not looking fun. Damn, I need that water bad. Ooh. Okay, this is doable. Okay, looks like probably there's a better trail. There we go. I can go back up. Now I know. Yeah, it goes right up to the trail there. And look at that, nice little beach. I just saw some people on it, a couple, and they are nude, so not going to go film them. So I'm gonna take a swim. That's kind of random. And look at this. Nice, secluded beach to myself. So the couple wasn't nude actually. The woman was topless. But luckily, there's a spot to myself anyway. Oh man, that is just gonna be absolute bliss getting in that. So that couple just took off in their own boat. I wonder where they're going that way. And got a juice here. 7 different fruit juices. So I have a 7-step plan for how to survive hiking in these kinds of brutally hot conditions. Number 1, obvious, bring water and other fluids. Number 2, maybe not quite as obvious, hike in sandals. I've talked about this in previous videos. These are very sturdy hiking sandals. Great for these kinds of conditions, and you do not want to be wearing shoes and socks when it's this hot. Number 3 is fairly obvious, shorts. Number 4, no shirt. Number 5, a wet hat. Number 6, a wet sarong. It won't stay wet forever, but it'll keep you cool for a while and also keep that sun off you without warming you up. And number 7 is right here. Put the sarong through the loop of the hat so that it keeps your neck cool and protected from the sun. All right, let's try to find those cannons. Okay, we got something. What is this? Ancient or not so ancient? Unfortunately, the signs for the cannons are pointing up the hill. Okay, these are older looking ruins here, and another beach, Antikouphos, down in that bay there, I guess. Now, these don't look super ancient either. It looks like that is where the support beam would go that would hold up the roof. Maybe, just maybe, this was built around the time that Greece claimed its independence from Turkey. Who knows, but that seems like roughly the right time frame. So this clip is a repeat. I recorded it before saying the exact same thing, and then somehow it didn't record. And one thing that I'm bummed that I missed is, as I came over here to look at the scene, there was the boat going just behind the edge of the cliff there around that corner. So it was cool to see confirmation of where they were going. Maybe the town that I showed in one of the clips before while the music was playing. A nice beach and little cluster of buildings and stuff beside the beach there. But let's keep on going, get up the hill, and try to find those cannons. And more remains of whoever and whatever was here a long time ago. Okay, so this area was taken over by the Germans in World War II. That is who built the cannons, I'm pretty sure. And so leftover ruins, whoa, from that era. Holy crap. This is a dank, dark hole here. I know you can't see. Okay, let me grab my phone. And there you go. Nothing to see in here. It is just a little square hole. So here's a quick snapshot of the military history of Greece during World War II. The military history of Greece during World War II began on 28 October 1940, when the Italian army invaded from Albania, beginning the Greco-Italian War. The Greek army was able to halt the invasion temporarily and was able to push the Italians back into Albania. The Greek successes forced Nazi Germany to intervene. The Germans invaded Greece and Yugoslavia on 6 April 1941 and overran both countries within a month, despite British aid to Greece in the form of Expeditionary Corps. The conquest of Greece was completed in May with the capture of Crete from the air, although the Fallschirmjäger, German paratroopers, suffered such extensive casualties in this operation that the Oberkommando der Wehrmacht, German High Command, abandoned large-scale airborne operations for the remainder of the war. And so the reason that I'm saying that these structures are part of the Nazi occupation is because that was mentioned on the plaque at the start of the trail, but I forgot to read that part in the video. Let's get a view, and then go find the cannons, which are that way. End of hiking route to the cannons. According to an oral tradition, a military squad of 120 Germans settled in Porto Kufo. Porto Kufo is right in this area, and the wider region of the North Aegean. Great concern was caused by the presence of the Greek submarine Papanikolaos. At the entrance of the harbor, the Germans placed a steel net under the surface of the sea, which connected the two sides of the entrance. The net was held by large barrels filled with air, which lifted the net onto the surface so as to protect the German ships in the port. The cannon of the gun tower lies sunk at a depth of about 3 meters in the area of the steep coast beneath the blockhouse. The small island to the right is called, and there it gets illegible, early Byzantine temple ruins are found. Okay, that is a important half of a sentence right there. Early Byzantine ruins are somewhere around here as well. So different phases of history. And another bunker. And bees. Same deal. Just a small little square hole in the ground. All right, where are them cannons? And so Byzantine, the mention of Byzantine ruins there, the Byzantine Empire, for those who don't know, was basically a continuation of the Roman Empire after it fell and dissolved and history continued. Basically, the Romans and the Greeks kind of formed a empire together, an alliance or whatever you want to call it. And that empire lasted for a very long time until, speaking of Turks, out there, then the fall of Constantinople in 1453, when the Ottoman Turks invaded and conquered the heavily fortified city of Constantinople, and with that, the Byzantine Empire fell. The Greeks retreated to some extent, and the Ottomans took control of that part of the world and are, of course, still there in modern-day Turkey, but there are many, many Greek ruins all throughout Turkey, both part of the Byzantine and also older than that Greek civilizations. So I guess maybe the cannons just refers to where the cannons were and not the actual cannons, because this is the top of the hill. Obviously the best spot for launching an attack. And so the little boat was obviously going there. And I believe that that is where I recorded one of the clips, right on that beach. You can see the road coming down from over the hill. And then I stopped there and recorded a clip there, and then in the harbor of that town there. And so straight across the water there, the next major land is Turkey. And that is a really nice beach down there, also with absolutely nobody on it. Wow. See, this is what I love about Greece. It's not about those crowded beaches. You know, that is fine for a quick dip when you're hot, but I do not like to be around that scene. But anywhere you go in Greece, then you can find these kind of beaches. Nobody on them. Very peaceful. Absolutely incredible clear water. And epic exploring. Very often with ancient ruins. Speaking of which, I did not explore that one fully, so let's pop back down there and see a little bit more of those ruins. And that is the other finger or leg of the Halkidiki Peninsula, Cassandra. All right, I'm going to hike back to the car, get in that nice AC, and see how far I can get today, where I end up tonight. So see you somewhere down the road.